Hello everyone. Welcome to my TED Talk on the Murim world with reference to Korean manhwas and webtoons. These are a few points that are more or less common for most martial art manhwas. So first and foremost, what is Murim? The word Murim is a Korean word, refers to the underworld-like society that is hidden from the public. It is also typically what people in this story refers to as the world of martial artists. When it comes to a large amount of manhwa, they take inspiration from the Chinese wuxia or xianxia stories, which are also martial art stories, usually set in the same place, which is the Jianghu or the Central Plains. This is just a fantasized version of China where different martial arts schools called sects and the forces of evil, good, and chaos are usually at war with one another. Now let's talk about martial arts. It's not just about punching and kicking like the way it's portrayed in modern non-fantasy fighting manhwas. They use weapons like swords, spears, bow and arrows, daggers, along with internal energy, which turn martial artists into superhumans. But there's no technically advanced guns and stuff. Although usually the use of gunpowder and explosive are restricted by the government. Martial arts skill levels are usually in the order of third-rate warrior, second-rate warrior, first-rate warrior, master, grandmaster, transcendent, and heavenly master. This is just the basic. Some manhwa twist around it, give it other titles. Just like how mana is the magic power in the medieval fantasy manhwas, in here ki is used. Sometimes it is called ki, sometimes it is called chi. It's the same thing, different pronunciation. Martial artists became stronger by training, cultivating or meditating, and by gaining enlightenment or understanding. Now let's talk about forces, paths, and factions. Normally I would categorize it into 4 different factions. We have the justice, the righteous, or the orthodox that keep the evil faction at bay, protect the innocent people. That's what they like to believe they are doing. Normally these factions are corrupted to the core. The normal suspect you see here is the 5 great families and the 9 great clan. And then we have the evil / unorthodox faction. It's not really a faction. Basically the orthodox just puts everything that is not orthodox into the evil faction, be it the information broker of the Hao clan or the Green Forest Bandit or just some smaller random sects that doesn't follow the rule of orthodox. And then we have the demonic cult. Usually don't take part in the evil and justice battles. They follow their own code of conduct based on their own religion. Sometimes they are combined together with the blood cult, even though normally it's a different thing, but they just put them together. Last faction is the government. Basically the Chinese kingdom. The Murim and the government usually has a rule where the Murim can't interfere with the government affairs and vice versa. But a lot of the time, if the government are a big part of the story, they are the villain. It is rare for them to be the good guys. I guess everywhere in the world they hate the government, huh? Now we have clans, cults, families. They are their own organization that follow their own rules, sometimes religions, and have a selected leader. These organizations are usually either merchant-based or martial arts and warrior-based. A sect is a martial arts school or academy. People of any kind are accepted as long as they are talented. A clan is a large family with councils of elders beside the leader, and instead of just accepting a talented outsider, they either adopt them or marry one of their descendants. A new sect leader is usually chosen by the previous leader. A patriarch or a clan head is usually the first son of the former patriarch, or another son or daughter that has a large backing by the family elders, or just the last remaining offspring. Sometimes you would hear that a clan also have an escort agencies. This refers to a protection for hire. They typically work as a bodyguard for merchants or traveler. Here's the usual sects or clans that you would see and some basic infos. First, the martial families. There are the Tang or Dang. They learn poison and hidden weapons art. They are usually located in the Sichuan province. They mostly wear green, sometimes green and black. Next family is the Jegal family. Sometimes they are called the Zuge family. They are a family focusing on strategies, traps, and formations. Next family is the Namgung family. They are usually either the main character or the main evil. They are always portrayed as either incredibly rich or incredibly strong. If you hear the mention of a name Sword Saint, Sword God, there's like a 90% chance his last name is Namgung. Then you have the sects. Most of the sects is a Taoist. They are a religion-based sect. There is the Mount Hua with the plum blossoms. Nope, not blossoms. Plum blossoms motif. There is the Mount Kunlun, a sect that mainly use dual swords. There is the Shaolin, the monks, the bold monks who mainly use fists, palms, and poles. There is the MA, a Taoist group filled with mainly females. And then there's the Wudang that focuses on soft and gentle technique to overcome opponents who rely on brute strength and forces. After the martial groups we speak about, these two groups I would categorize as the information broker group. There is the beggar sect that is kind of like a spy organization that usually sides with the orthodox sides. Beggars are common in Murim, so no one really pays attention to them, not knowing that they're gathering information. They usually mark their members with a leather, I think it looks like a shoelace that tied into a knot on their waist. The more knots a beggar has, the higher their position in the sect is. With the highest, I usually see at 8 knots. The Hao sect, the Hao Moon, the Ignoble clan, there's a lot of name for them, doesn't really side with anyone. They sell their information to the highest paying person or just someone who pays. And instead of beggars, they are filled with common people like server, delivery boys, entertainers. Usually has a base in either a restaurant or a brothel. Next up, my favorite sect, the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult. They're a weird bunch. They believe that the cult's founder is their god and prays to him. Usually there's a holy fire too. There are cults that only focus on power. The sect leader is usually addressed as the heavenly demon. Sometimes they are put together with the blood cult, although they are fundamentally different, in my opinion. The blood cult are a bunch of people who legalize any way to become stronger, like absorbing life energy from their opponent, sacrificing other people, and a lot of drinking and bathing, using other people's body fluid. Mostly blood, sometimes bone marrow, you see that a lot too. Next up we have the bandits. Sometimes part of the unorthodox, sometimes just low-level scum. They are people who rob, extort, and any other heinous crime. There's two main ones, sometimes bundled up together, the Green Forest and the 18 Stronghold bandits. Now what is a stronghold? Stronghold is like a different name for a village, basically a village of bandits. The Green Forest, just like their name, resides in the forest. They take a quote-unquote fees from carriage passing through and build their stronghold deep in the forest to hide from the orthodox forces. The 18 stronghold bandits, or the waterway bandits, take fees from boats passing through the Yellow River, a very big river in China. It is a very commonly mentioned river. They built their stronghold on the shore of the river and have boats standing by for easier escape. The next couple of groups are a group that is outside of the Central Plains. When referring to pirates, it usually refers to the 18 stronghold bandits or the Japanese. And then there's the Northern Ice Palace. They refers to northerners living in cold region, so I would assume it's either a country that's near the Everest mountain or Russia. I think it's more Russia because sometimes they would be drawn as a blonde, blue-eyed person. After that, there's the barbarians. They're the Mongols, and of course, as they are Mongols, their leader somehow related to Genghis Khan. Also, there's the Beast Palace. Sometimes they are grouped up together with the barbarians. They're a bunch of people, weird people who cultivate with animals. Last thing we have to talk about is a common terms that people use. A chi or gi is a spiritual energy or the natural energy of the world. This is the main energy that people use as martial artists. And then there's the Dantian, the energy center, where ki is stored. Destroying a martial artist Dantian causes an extreme pain and make him lose his martial ability. People who lose their martial abilities are called cripple. The Dantian is usually located in the lower part of the stomach, like right below your belly button. Cultivation. It is the act of improving their health, strength, and ki by training and meditating. Breakthrough is the act of meditating, usually mixing the martial arts learned, an enlightenment or understanding, and a large amount of ki to get to a higher realm of martial arts. Sometimes you would see that their bodies begin to crack and fall off and create a new body called the recreation of the body to more fit the martial arts. A ki deviation is a state when a ki inside a person runs wild, making the cultivator go crazy and just attack everyone on their side. The only outcome is either death or cripple. Usually happens because of the use of a harmful drug to forcefully break through to a higher realm, an outside interference, or a body not fit the martial arts learned. Next term is a Gosu. It refers to a martial master and sometimes teacher. A godly doctor is a legendary doctor whose skills are, godly, sometimes referred to as divine physician. The Dao, D-A-O Dao, path is a path that follows the yin and yang, seeking balance between the two of them. Now, what is yin and yang? It is the duality present in all aspects of the universe. For instance, yin is often symbolized with women, soft, death, dark, the moon, while yang is male, heart, life, light, the sun. The comparison are endless. Anything that has an opposite of it is an aspect of yin and yang. Yin and yang describes how opposite or contrary forces are actually complementary, interconnected, and interdependent in the natural world, and how they mutually give rise to each other. Speaking of yin and yang, we have a eunuch. E-U-N-U-C-H, eunuch. A eunuch is a male that has been castrated to learn yin martial art, because as we talk in key deviation, sometimes someone's body is not fit to learn the martial arts, so someone became a eunuch to learn yin martial arts. The last term, something called gu poison, a G-U, gu poison. A poison made by putting numerous poisonous animal in a jar and sealing it in the dark, usually until only one animal remains, usually regarded as an ultimate poison that contains a venom from a bunch of animals. Sometimes they are characterized as a colorless, odorless, and tasteless poison. We're ending it off on a poison. Wow. Now I know this video's not that good of a quality. This sound recording is not that good of a quality, but I'm just starting, okay? This is my first video. I'm sorry that it's bad. If you like what I'm doing, like the video and maybe subscribe if you want to continue see me doing. What am I going to do with this YouTube channel? Of course, I forgot to mention it. There's a part 2 coming next week of this Murim guide or something. I'm gonna do a bunch of tier list video after this. I recently just tried to open tier maker and I have a lot of fun in it. So I'm gonna make a video of that. So yeah, subscribe if you want to continue see me doing basically random stuff every week. Comment down below if you want to see me do something. If you want me to make a, I don't know, what's this video called, a guide? I don't really confident in calling this thing a guide. Yeah, just comment down below. I don't have a set ending for this video. I don't have a script for it, so I'm just gonna wing it. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, subscribe this video now, like this video, subscribe to this channel to support me. Thank you for watching and bye bye.